So he just kind of went around and checked them all, and they weren't really ready. So he just left them. And he just started walking. He just started walking out into the desert by himself. And
how close are you right now watching all this?
I was like about 100 yards above him.
Okay.
So I was at the point where I could make a move to go kill him. But I was kind of just letting things settle down. Yeah. They were not aware of my presence, like the wind and the thermals were good. Everything was good. So I was just kind of letting it play out to see what was going to happen.
What time of the day is this right now?
This is just like right after sunup.
Okay.
Yep. They'd kind of moved back to bedding pretty early that morning. It was hot. It was going to be really hot that day. It ended up being like in the 90s that day.
Okay.
So they were getting to bed early. And then he just kind of left them and he took off walking. And I watched him. I mean, he just walked. I mean, you could see for miles, it's just flat and no trees, nothing. And
that would be a weird, I've just never seen anything like that before.
No, most people haven't.
That's got to be a weird sight, just like having everything, this wide open expanse and just watching this huge guy walk. Like, where's he going?
Well, and if you can
where's this dude going?
Picture me like sitting on like a bald clay knob in the middle of nowhere, watching this happen and kind of just like, almost like lamenting to myself, like, shit, I'm going to have to go after this bull now. Like, okay. So, but yeah, no, then he went and he laid down in this, like, kind of this deep, like dry, like washed out crevice. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting in the same, it's basically just a dry creek bed. Mm-hmm. Like if you just picture like flat as a pancake, prairie, sagebrush, cactus, sand, scoria, and like just a dry washed out creek bed that runs through the middle of it. He was laying in the bottom of it.
How deep was it? 10 feet?
Probably, 10 to 15 feet.
Gotcha.
So fairly deep.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
And I got right in the bottom of it, and it's like almost like beach sand in the bottom. So his tracks were like perfectly fresh,
nice and comfy. Good place to go.
Yeah, great. Yeah. And it was cooler down there. It was definitely cooler in the shade. It was great. So I was able to track him in the sand. Like, I mean, I knew because you wonder, you're like, well, did he sneak out like another way or something? But I'm like right on his tracks. Mm-hmm. And there's kind of like little turns and bends and winds in this creek bed. And finally I kind of came around a corner and I saw his antlers. I could see like the tops of his antlers, but not his head. So he couldn't see me either. And so I climbed out. I got out of the dry wash up above him, crawled basically right on top of him. So he was down in the wash and I was at the ledge above him. And he was bedded down in like a hole that he had worn out. And it was like a annual bedding area for him. Like he had washed out the sandstone in there from all the times he'd bedded in there.
Oh wow, so this was his place.
Yeah. So and like that's kind of a good little like note. Like people wonder when this early September, like before the rut really gets going, mm-hmm. and you don't know where a lot of these great big bulls are. Like they do that a lot. They go off in these kind of weird places where nobody's going to mess with them. They're not far from the herd.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like they're within striking distance. So as soon as those cows start coming into estrus, then they're going to be there.
But that kind of goes back to the point that you made a lot earlier, right? Is if you find out where the cows are, there's a big bull somewhere near.
Absolutely.
If it's close to the rut, because mm-hmm. they know where they are.
Yeah. That's it. And again, it's just one of those situations where you kind of you have to be there, to see that happen. But then from there, it was just waiting for him to stand up, really. So